Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
Solomini, a top 10 first crop sire in 2023, standing at McMahon of Saratoga. 14 first crop winners, including My Shady Lady, winner of the $500,000 New York Stallion Series 5th Avenue Stakes, Grade 2 winner, Winstock, and Stakes winner, Solo Shot. Solomini, the 7th leading freshman sire and the only top 10 freshman sire with a Grade 1 or Grade 2 winner. He sired a $700,000 2-year-old at the OBS April sale. His juveniles sold for nearly 6 figures on average, more than 12 times the stud fee. Solomini, a controversial DQ from being a Grade 1 winner by 2-time Horse of the Year Curlin, standing at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds.
All right, welcome in another Pick 5 edition. We've been away for a couple of weeks. Didn't hit anything in the couple of weeks that we were on, but we're back.
I, much to the chagrin of the viewers, did manage to hit a nice Pick 5 at Santa Anita. Early Pick 5, was that 2 weekends ago? Last weekend? But yeah, nothing since, nothing before. So all around it once again, and hopefully we can rekindle our good fortune from last year's Louisiana Derby Day, where we hit the late Pick 5 for $5,000 or so. So hopefully we can run it back this year.
Yeah. Going through the last couple of races at Fairgrounds on Louisiana Derby Day. Pretty wide open fields. I feel like. I think looking at it, there are some decent price horses that we both liked. So let's get right into it. Race 8, the Tom Benson Memorial, mile and a 16th on the turf. Full field of, I think, about 14. And I believe we have damn near half the field covered, Kev.
There you go.
we gotta get
out of the first. Yeah.
Yeah. So take us through which ones you like. There were 3 in here that stuck out to me, and a couple of other ones for you.
Yeah, I mean these turf fields are huge in this sequence. So I feel like if you can kind of go pretty deep and get a nice price, you can kind of narrow down in the 2 dirt stakes, big stakes races at the end of the sequence. But yeah, to me, I liked 3, Join the Dance, picks up Velasquez, good speed figs. His run on this Fairgrounds turf hasn't had a win yet, but 2 for 3 hitting the board. But my big price in here that I liked was the 7, Flatter Me Silly, 20 to 1 on the morning line. Really just consistent good figures. Ran a better figure than the past figs, coming back off that long layoff first race this year. Got a win at Fairgrounds. Going to be stretching out an extra 16th of a mile. Running late, I think this horse can kind of run, hopefully run down some of these front runners. That was my big price pick. And then apparently now it's turf, no matter what, I always feel like I gravitate towards Hidden Connection, and I feel like we have to add Hidden Connection here with Ray Lou up, and hopefully the horse just takes to the turf.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about this Hidden Connection. Seems to be, had a decent 4-year-old season. I don't know, just hasn't won all that much. So that's that would be my knock on her. I think the the couple that I liked in here was the 5. Glorious Princess, in addition to the 10 Delahaye for Chad Brown. I think Chad has a couple of interesting horses in this late pick 5 sequence that need some respect. I wouldn't be surprised if this Delahaye ends up going off favored, 6-1 on the morning line. I think that would be an absolute gift if we ended up getting that. And then the other one that I liked was this 13, Not So Close. This kind of coming as we go through here, that Louisiana Derby preview day from, 4 or 5 weeks ago, it, rained all day. The track was super sloppy. And if anybody watched the Derby Radar show that John and I did the other day, I just didn't really like a lot of horses coming out of the races on that day, including this Al Stall race where we saw Not So Close, and finished a well-beaten 6th. And you have a lot of, I think, the top 3 horses at least from that race coming back in here, and I just want really no part of them. And we'll take a shot with really probably the longest shot coming in out of that race with Not So Close. So I've liked the 5, 10, and 13. Was there any other ones that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, the 6 Tufani is a horse I wanted to touch on. Second race of 4-year-old season, 2 for 3 on the fairgrounds turf, and then 4 for 6 overall on the turf. Horse seems to be primed to kind of make a jump up in figures, and if she does improve on those figures, she fits to me. And 8-1. Stidham's a good turf trainer. Ben Curtis, good numbers at fairgrounds. I think they're with a Brad Cox horse in here. I think this horse could kind of float up and go off around that 8-1, maybe even higher, and could be a good price.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll show the ticket at the end, but in this first leg, race 8, we're on the 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 13. So, like I jokingly said, half the field to kick this off and hopefully move on.
And the 12 Orv is going to go off favored, or however you pronounce that, and murder us. But I just didn't think that horse is going to like the distance.
Right.
It's just too much to ask, and the horse is going to be, second or first or second choice. So
yeah,
to me, that was a toss.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that as well. The interesting thing that Irad gets on for, a relatively obscure trainer and connections, like why would he pick up the mount on this horse? But
and not to totally get in the weeds here, but if you look back last summer, he was training under Chris Block, and he had him, at least what they show on Brisnet, they had him sprinting, and then his last out he was sprinting. So like, why now are you choosing a route? There's just too many question marks.
Yeah, especially for a horse that's going to be first or second choice. All right, race 9, back on the dirt in the New Orleans Classic. Your favorite, Red Route 1, gets back in here. I feel like every time this horse is on the program, you include him, but we're not going to do that on Saturday.
So he's going to win this time. No, I still, if he just had another 16th of a mile in the Arkansas Derby last summer, or last spring, would have been, or not even, or what, the Rebel, I guess, where he's coming after I could go on. Fucking horse.
The
But yeah, we're leaving him off this time.
yeah, the one horse that I liked in here was this 2-horse Gasoline for Todd Pletcher. I guess kind of contradicting a little bit about what I said, talking about the prior race and just not being, totally crazy about, horses coming out of sloppy races at fairgrounds. But, this was another one, finished a well-beaten third behind this, this Money Supply and Best Actor, who are both also in here. I just think this race, is going to set up with some speed up front, and I think this 2 should be right in the mix to be able to be in the mix late. If you're looking at Brisnet, he's got some decent late pace figures outside of his past race where, he was a bit more forward early than he normally is, which, may have been a product of how that race was projected to shape up. Just seemed like there wasn't supposed to be much early speed in there, and it ended up being probably faster than a lot of these horses wanted it to be. So I'm willing to bet him back and include him here, especially at this 8-1 price, which I think we should probably get because he was, beaten, pretty well last time. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you look back, he ran a race in January 2023, sloppy track, one of his lower late pace figs. I think I agree. First race coming off a decent little layoff, starting the new year on a sloppy track. I feel like a lot of these horses, we'll get into it later and why I'm leaning towards Intricate and the Oaks. It's just some of these horses you could get a little bit of a price just based on people assuming that this is the way their form's going to be this year, and you can hopefully get them to run back to last year's form on a fast track.
Yeah. That said, I think this Money Supply has every reason to be in the mix in this race. Be a little bit of a lower price, but I thought he was fine last time, and figure don't want to get beat by him, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a horse you use. So I think I saw on Twitter, I could be way wrong, but I think I read under one of Matt Bernier's tweets that this Touch Upon a Star, the 3, is going to scratch. I don't know if that's true, but if that is the case.
I thought I saw that the 3 was going to stay and the 10 was going to scratch.
I guess we'll see them. We'll see tomorrow. But
that would definitely change the bit of a pace dynamic for sure.
Yeah, and kind of the complexion on who's favored. You'd assume Money Supply would end up being either Money Supply or Red One or Best Actor, I guess, would end up being favorite. But either way, I liked Money Supply. I really liked the 4 Black Belt and the 7 Super Corinto.
Mm-hmm.
Black Belt, to me, just the figures fit. Hasn't really won many big races, but to me, one of my kind of pillars is I don't let class shake me from a fast horse or what appears to be a fast horse. So I think if second race of the of the year for black belt. Hopefully, just kind of runs out there and keeps on running. And then the 7, same thing. I mean, coming back from running in Dubai last year, almost over a year layoff, or almost exactly a year layoff, but gets the Lasix back, which I always look for when horses are coming back from overseas. So if they get Lasix in that first race back, give them a little juice. And Ignacio Correas, I always love his horses. So him plus Irad, 12-1. I feel like there's no way we're going to get 12-1 on this horse, but if we get anywhere near that, I think it's a really good value.
Yeah, that's just like this horse just kind of jumped off the page mainly for the connections and like just the super long layoff. Like, what are we going to get from this horse? But those connections, Irad getting on, it just, I don't know. If you're going to get, 8-1 or more, you'd be crazy, I think, to not include it.
So initially, too, my thought. So he's been working regularly at Keeneland. So my thought, this is just me, just trying to hypothesize or guess what they're doing, is that they're just running him in here to just get a race under him and just prep him for the Keeneland meet in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So this horse could run out there and just totally just run last and just basically be a glorified workout, but I think it's a risk we're willing to take.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick time out and we'll come back and talk about everybody's favorite horse, Web Slinger.
Number 1 is Mo Donegal by Uncle Mo. And they're off in the Remsen. As they come on for the finish, and it's going to be tight here in the Remsen. Mo Donegal bearing down on the outside. It's Mo Donegal and early voting, and it is Mo Donegal to win the Wood Memorial. And it will be Mo Donegal to win the Test of the Champion, the Belmont Stakes.
All right. Race 9. We're moving on to race 10. A lot of familiar faces in here, like Adamo, who seemingly hasn't won in forever. I don't even know why we're spending time talking about this horse. Just, I don't know, was just way over his head in the Pegasus World Cup turf, way over his head in the Breeders' Cup turf. So,
hey, almost he's 10 grand away from being a millionaire. So
yeah, isn't that crazy? This Web Slinger, it's like every time. This horse beat us on Kentucky Derby Day a couple years ago, or was it last year?
Last year.
And, we didn't have him that day. And I feel like we've had him every day since, and he just hasn't delivered for us. But coming out of that Pegasus World Cup turf, he had a trouble at the top of the stretch and was still able to run on. And what did he finish? He finished 6th, but
but only 3 lengths back.
3 lengths back. I just feel like with Pratt now, this is it. Just feels like this is the race that he finally gets through.
And I think I talked about it during our Risen Star show. I think he's going to love this long stretch. I think he's just, once they get turned for home and he can see where he has to run, might tip him out a little bit, get him going on the outside. But yeah, you're right. If he loses this race, then I'm off Web Slinger until the next time he beats us. But I thought, oh man, I was all over him in that Pegasus World Cup turf. But I think this is it. I mean, he's going to be a shorter price, so obviously we're talking a Web Slinger, but we're still going a couple deep in here just because we can't trust him. But I do think, if I had to pick one horse that I think could be coming late, I think it's him.
Yeah. The other one I liked was this Beatbox. Just, some really big late pace figures, always in the mix late. And, he's finished no worse than second in 4 starts at fairgrounds. Again, it just feels like this horse is sitting on another nice effort and is, just as deserving as anyone else in this field.
Yeah, I agree. He beat Strong Quality last time, who I believe are we using?
Yeah.
Strong Quality. I mean, looking at it, it's like Strong Quality. Like you'd think, like he runs so well at a mile and a 16th. Like you would think he could just do it at a mile and an 1/8. But I mean, I like you were saying before. I feel like you just chuck out these soft turf races from the last big race day of Fairgrounds. I think there's a chance Strong Quality just turns this into a merry-go-round and just kind of runs out there and just runs on with it. But I think we're kind of, hedging our bets a little bit in terms like the Strong Quality. I think will go off around that 6-1, 5-1, which is a good price. And, if he can't hang on, I think it's Web Slinger or Beatbox, coming to get him.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what happened last time in that last turf race between Beatbox and Strong Quality.
Yeah. The other one that we're going to include is the 13, I'm Very Busy, who, is going to have to work out a trip from way outside there. But, finished a very good second in that Pegasus World Cup turf behind Warm Heart, who, had, a gutsy rail ride and was able to get up at the wire. So a quality horse that took a big jump forward in that first start in January as a 4-year-old, always around the top 1 or 2, it seems like, in 8 career races is finished first, second, or third in 6 of them. So,
I mean, he loses to good horses. Warm Heart lost to Integration race before that.
Yeah,
lost to Major Dude back in 2022. Like he doesn't lose to slouches. So I think,
Right.
if he could work out a trip from 13, he'll be a shorter price. But I think he's one that is definitely dangerous in here, and it's a huge field. So I think he can get a little leeway here, taking a shorter price and going 4 deep.
Yeah. So we're going to use the 2, 3, 4, and 13 in race 10. In race 11, the Fairgrounds Oaks, we landed on the 6, Intricate, as the only one we're going to use, singling Brendan Walsh and Tyler Gaffleone.
Can this horse be last year's Pretty Mischievous, even though Pretty Mischievous did not win the Fairground Oaks? I was really between. So initially, when I was looking at this race, I really liked VV's Dream. Just hopefully finally getting a fast track, second off layoff, second race at 3-year-old season, kind of get back to those 94s, 93s from last year.
Mm-hmm.
but I just kept coming back to Intricate. Came off the long layoff, good works, sloppy track, ran well. Finished second to Tarifa, who already had a race under her belt in her 3-year-old season. Finishes that race, comes right back on the work tab, 48 and 4 furlongs. Next week, 48, 4 furlongs, and then just a nice kind of cool breeze 5 furlong workout. I think she's sitting on a big race. Her class rating is above everybody else in this field. I just think she's a good single opportunity in here where people are either going to be going Tarifa or they're going to be going deep. And then we've already kind of used our deep races with those turf races. So I just think this is a time to get skinny, and I think Intricate's sitting on a big race.
Yeah. Yeah. I think seeing that first start in February and then just, really like right away, just getting right back on the work tab and putting in a string of nice, fast workouts. And, Brendan Walsh knows exactly what he's doing. So I feel like you're right. This is an opportunity to zig when everybody else is going to zag. And, this horse has every opportunity to win, you'd think, every reason to win. And, we'll see what we can do. All right. So in the Louisiana Derby, we liked 2 in here. And if anybody wants a deeper dive into the Louisiana Derby, check out the Kentucky Derby Radar show from earlier in the week, where we went through every horse in the field and talked about whether they were a contender or a pretender in this race. But we landed on 2 in here, with the 5 Catching Freedom and the 11 Tuscan Gold. So let's start with the 5 Catching Freedom. Kev, I know you were super high on this horse once the entries were released.
Yeah, I mean, I loved him in the Risen Star, and he was flying late, got kind of squeezed a little bit, and Sierra Leone just kind of powered past him. No Sierra Leone here, so I think this race is going to set up very similarly to the Risen Star, except I think Catching Freedom will be the one storming late down the center of the track and hopefully up for first.
Yeah. Again, I can't trust Track Phantom for some reason. I don't know if it's the running style combined with the distance. He'll most likely go off favored. I don't know. I've never really been impressed with that horse, and maybe he embarrasses us tomorrow, but I'm not.
I mean, the horse wilted in a slow pace, all alone out front, going longer than he's ever gone before. So now you're going to ask him to go, am I doing fractions correctly? Even longer than that? 3/16 is longer than an 1/8?
Yeah.
That's why I'm in medicine. So now you're asking him to go longer from the 12 hole, favored. It's all too many things, I think, that are up against them there.
Right. So coming out of that Risen Star, with no Sierra Leone here, I think Catching Freedom is the most logical one. I was pretty disappointed with Honor Marie last time. Same with, Real Men Violin. So going away from those, and this Tuscan Gold for Chad Brown just seems like an interesting spot. And I know, we're including a couple of Chad's horses in a few of these legs here already. I don't know that there's anybody training horses right now that's better at spotting their horses. Linda Rice also does an excellent job of that too, but Chad is exceptional, and this is an interesting spot for this horse. And you have to think he wouldn't be running this horse if he didn't think it had a legitimate shot.
Yeah. The figures fit, and you would assume, second race of the year, third race of the horse's career, that he's bound to improve on that 89, and improving on that, puts him right in the mix. And 8-1, it's a good price, and can't beat the connections. Tyler with Chad. My only fear is, the Lasix last time out. It's a good point by our dad in our text chain earlier today. Lasix last time out, and then comes back now with no Lasix. You could read into it as much as you want, but sometimes horses just don't like the on and off switch like that. But I was texting you the other night that I was saying we had to catch a single Catching Freedom, but if we weren't going to, the only other one I would really use was this one, 11. So
yeah.
With an honorable mention, the more I look at Common Defense, the more I tried to talk myself into them. But I always get I feel like I always read into it too much, or I think the trainer is trying to dodge certain horses. Like, why is this horse running in the Rebel and then coming back to Fairgrounds training to run in this? And I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much, even though McPeak, is generally a Fairgrounds trainer. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, and that's why I ultimately decided to leave him off. But if he runs a bigger race than he did in the Rebel, his figures fit as well. But at that price, he might be a little shorter when they open the gate.
Yeah. All right, we'll take another quick timeout, and then we'll be back, and we'll show our ticket, the cost, give one more run through, and then we'll wrap it up.
You want horsepower? We've got the Sire Power. Central Banker, New York's leading sire 3 years in a row, standing at McMahon of Saratoga. He has 12 black-type winners, including multiple stakes winners and graded stakes placed Bank It, Morning Matcha, and Bank Stink. Central Banker, sire of 6-figure yearlings and 2-year-olds. He produced 9 stakes runners in 2023. Runners have earned $20.5 million on the track. Central Banker, standing at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbred.
They're off in the 2023 First Crop Sires race. Maximum Mischief makes the lead with the most 2-year-old maiden special winners by any sire. On the backstretch, Mitoli and Omaha Beach close the gap with stakes performers from coast to coast. Vino Rosso finds his best and leads on the turn with 4 Grade 1 colts on dirt. But it's Mitoli with his 3rd TDN Rising Star, your champion freshman, leading an impressive Spendthrift Superfecta.
All right. Here's the ticket. Like I said at the beginning, covering half the field in race 8 with the 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, and 13. My top choice in there was the 10, Delahaye.
Let me see. I feel like let me scroll back, put me on the spot here. It was the 7, Flatter Me Silly, 20-1.
Race 9, 2, 4, 5, and 7. The 2, Gasoline, and then the 7 was just that, why is Irad on this horse? Long odds, hopefully.
Yeah, horse could finish last or show up with a jetpack on. It's one of the two. He's running his eyeballs out.
Race 10, 2, 3, 4, 13. Sounds like we were both pretty high on
This is Web Slinger's day, man.
It's Web Slinger's day to get it done. Race 11 with the 6 intricate. You were really high on this horse. An opportunity to go skinny after spreading early in the sequence and, try and get a little bit lucky when, we would assume most other people will be looking elsewhere or, spreading in this race.
Yeah.
And then in the finale, the Louisiana Derby, the 5, Catching Freedom, and the 11, Tuscan Gold. Just listening to both of us talk, I think Catching Freedom is the top choice, and the 11 is sort of an up and coming horse that we think has a decent shot and should be a fair price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 11 could pop a nice figure.
So $112 ticket, I think pretty reasonable for a sequence like this where, you can look in a variety of different directions and see where you'd want to go. But, I feel like we've got decent coverage and decent opinions mixed in, and let's see if we can string it together.
Let's do it. Two late pick 5 wins, 2 Louisiana Derby days in a row would be nice.
That would be nice. Any other thoughts on the weekend of racing before we say goodnight?
No, just disappointed. It sounds like Victory Avenue is not going to be entering in the Florida Derby tomorrow. We got our future in at Circa at Vegas about roughly 6 hours before he scratched out of the Fountain of Youth with an illness. And the worst, we got the worst of the number. I was talking about getting that horse at 100 to 1. We took 25 to 1, which is just in itself is just stupid. But I wanted a piece of that horse so bad. And like I said, we're going to be there, and the horse is going to win the Jim Dandy or something in front of us, and we're going to have nothing, and it'll be fun watching it. But yeah, that's about it. And getting ready, we're going to be at the Wood on the 6th, so I'm just mentally preparing for that. It should be a good time.
Nice. Awesome. Well, there's the ticket. Good luck if you're playing. Thanks for sticking with us after we were absent for the last couple of weeks. A lot going on, but hopefully we're able to string a couple of nice winners here and cash a nice ticket.
Peace.
Cyberknife was a very talented horse from day one. Fast horse, able to carry it around 2 turns. Looks a tremendous amount like Gunrunner, same ability and talent. Holds the track record in the Haskell. He won it in impressive fashion, beating a very good group of horses.
His name is Cyberknife!
Excited about him passing on his durability, his soundness, and his talent. He could definitely be a breed-shaping stallion.
Nobody does it better.